feed them by broadcasting fish from up above. We keep them fairly well fed so that we can keep them from eating each other while they're in the tank. Also keep them being a little aggressive towards our divers.
And if they're with other creatures.
This big guy here is a nurse shark. They're fairly docile. Don't have real bad teeth. And one of the things that we like to practice here at the aquarium is, of course, being divers here, we have to practice our skills a lot. What we're going to demonstrate to you here in the dive show is some of the skills that we use and are required to use as a volunteer diver. Greg is saying, welcome to the Texas State Aquarium. My name is G. Greg, and I am a volunteer diver. One of the skills that we have to learn here, of course, is being able to clear our mask. What he's saying now is my mask helps me see you. Take the mask off. Put it back on. He's going to clear it so that he can see. What's important about this is occasionally, sometimes, depending on what kind of situation that you're in, sometimes the mask may get knocked off, or sometimes you may get water that leaks on the inside of the mask. So, in order for us to clear so that we can see, we have to know this skill. Greg is saying, my BC helps me stay neutral. What you're looking at that he carries his tank on is what they call a buoyancy compensator. That's a vest that he has on there. And what this vest does is this vest serves two purposes. It allows us to hold our tank on, which he's showing you here. And we can also fill it up with air so that we can regulate how deep or how low or how high in the water column that we want to be. And sometimes when we're swimming, sometimes we want to be up here, sometimes we want to be way down here. And what the buoyancy compensator does by allowing us to put air in it and also regulating with our lungs, we can stay anywhere that we want to without falling or raising the water column. Now he's saying, my weight belt helps me stay down. On his side here, you see the weights that he has attached to his weight. That's what helps him stay down on the bottom. We want to stay down. Now what he's doing is demonstrating to you what the BC does. By filling it full of air, it'll compensate for that weight that's on his side and allow him to float in the water column without going up or without going down. There's a pretty strong current in there, so it kind of has a tendency to push you wherever you want to. There's some exhaust pipes over here on the other side that they push you just about anywhere. A lot of fun being in there. I say my regulator helps me breathe. It's got an exhaust valve on it so we can blow air and clear it once we take it out of our mouth. Now he's going to kind of move over and we'll see if he can perform a little, couple of focus here. Get this right.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. Now, occasionally when we're feeding, one of the things that happens, of course, is you see the two sand tiger sharks that are in here. This is one here. There's another one back there on that back wall. Sometimes when they're feeding, they'll lose their teeth. Where sharks have several rows of teeth inside their mouth, unlike you and I, they've got several rows, and anytime they lose one, it's automatically replaced by another. What he's going to do right now, see if he can find us a shark and lay over there at the bottom. Oh, that's just a safety pole that we use. We carry that along with us in case the sharks decide they want to eat.
Shark popper, in other words.
They don't want to wait to push them away. Never had to use it yet, but
There's that big yummy
that's the big Jewfish.
Jewfish. Man. That thing weighs around 400 pounds.
Yes, sir. That one weighs 400, and this one back here weighs about 300.
No, he just lays around.
We've got a lot of real friendly. These amberjack that you see here, we got quite a few of them in here. They love attention. Matter of fact, some of the ones that you see in here are a lot darker than the other. He's got a sharp tooth in his hand. You see that? But if you'll notice, some of these amberjack are a little bit darker than the others. They have a tendency, we can't quite figure it out yet, but if you'll notice his fins are black. And sometimes they have a tendency to mistake these as mates, and they'll start changing colors because of the black fins. That's why some of them are a little bit darker than the other. That's it. That's all there is to the show.
Can we clap?
Sure, you can clap.
Are these, is there a system to say what age they'd be before they're in here? How long have they been here? Are they born? Were they little ones? Been here for years?
No, actually what we-
been here a month?
Actually, what we do is we catch these out of the water. Keep them alive, and we bring them in here. Some of them have been.
Now they're about to be launched with an unceremonious belly flop. These young turtles
They're gonna
may
get
be
a
the
new
best
octopus?
hope for the survival of the species. That people can help prevent the extinction of endangered sea turtles around the world.
Let's
There's two sharks. Where? Look. Oh, yeah. They put one. Well, look at that one. That's where they put. Look at the purple. Oh no, he's gonna get in. Get Why don't say he's gonna get in?
Guys, get back just a little bit. Okay, before we get started, just going to ask all the kids that are at the front to stay seated during the show. That way people behind you can see, okay?
Go ahead and
My
sit
name
down,
is
Seth.
Rob, and our diver today
Sit right
is
there.
Greg. And Greg's just coming into the water right now. You can notice that Greg's not wearing any type of scuba gear. That's because we consider this a confined space or a fairly small area with a lot of animals in here. So we don't want to wear a lot of bulky equipment like fins on our feet or tanks on our back. What we do use is something that we call hookah, and that's a setup where we have an air compressor that provides air to us when we're underwater. To communicate, we use American Sign Language, and Greg is saying welcome to the Texas State Aquarium. And he's saying that he's a volunteer diver, and that his name is G-R-E-G, Greg. We've got about 50 volunteer divers that help us out with our various dive programs, including feeding fish. And Greg is saying that the fish are hungry, it's time to feed them. The food basket that's been lowered down, that has all of the food for all of the animals in the tank that Greg's going to be feeding out. The first type of food that Greg's feeding is a special type of food we call fish jello. And it's something that we make here by taking a variety of fish products. To some of it we add vitamins and minerals and also special pigments that help maintain some of the pretty colors of the fish. And we also add vegetables like spinach and broccoli to some of it as well. Then we mix it up in a blender and add gelatin to that mixture, and it solidifies into a big tray of fish jello, which we can then cut up into different sized pieces for different sized fish. We also make up a special type of this jello substance for our sea turtles, which provides all the proper nutrients that they need. The exhibit that Greg's diving in this morning is our Flower Gardens exhibit, and it gives a representation of the flower garden banks. The flower garden banks are located about 110 miles off the coast of Freeport, Texas, and they are the northernmost coral reef system along the North American continental shelf, so they are a very unique area. The flower garden banks, because of that special nature of it, have been designated as part of the National Marine Sanctuary Program. The animal that Greg was feeding there is our cow-nosed ray. He's the only ray that we have in this tank. We do have a couple of them in a touch tank downstairs that you can all touch.
Yay!
Our cow-nosed ray is really gentle. He likes to get bottle fed out of that bottle. What we were feeding him is krill. Krill is a small shrimp-like animal that we squirt around the back areas for all of the little fish in the tank. And also some of the larger ones, like our cow-nosed ray, also like it. The small fish that we primarily give the krill to include our damselfish. Those are the small, dark-colored ones. And they are probably the most territorial fish in the exhibit.
Where do you get the krill?
The krill we get frozen. We just thaw it out as we need it. Just like all of the rest of the food that we feed out here, all comes in large frozen packages.
What kind of eel is that?
This right here is Seymour. He's one of our larger green moray eels. And we've got some large fish for him. Today it looks like we've got some mackerel. And Seymour's actually very gentle. He'll kind of hold his mouth open sometimes like that and allow us to stick the fish down into his throat. They do swallow their food whole primarily after grabbing onto it with their teeth. Green moray eels can get up to about 8 feet in length. Our largest one is Leon. He's the one sticking his head up back there. He's a full-grown male. He's about 7 feet long. This one right here is our second smallest one. This is Panga. And in addition to that, we also have one we call Baby, and it's the smallest one. Right now, he's probably hiding out in behind the column of coral behind Greg. In addition to these green moray eels, we also have 2 other types of morays. The other 2 morays that we have are purple mouth morays. They hide out underneath this clump of brain coral. And we also have a spotted moray that hides out in the rocks behind Greg. Those 2 only get up to about 3.5 feet in length, so they are much smaller. Our nurse sharks have a very good sense of smell, and they know where the food is. As you saw there, they'll come up and steal it if they get a chance. The green moray, if he is real hungry, he will come back and get some food. Normally the moray eels usually feed only about once or twice a week, and when they are hungry they do come to us to get food. They have a very good sense of smell, so they know when we have food in the water. The nurse sharks are fairly small in this tank. These guys have, as you saw there, they have a very good suction mechanism. That's what they use to slurp up their food. That same suction mechanism they also use for pumping water across their gills, and that's why they can rest on the bottom. Whereas some of the other types of sharks, they need to keep swimming in order to keep water going across their gills. These guys are fairly young. Nurse sharks can get up to 12 to 15 feet long, so they do get fairly big. Right now, Greg's trying to feed our tarpon. Those are the large silverfish. Tarpon can get up to about 8 feet in length, and they're a very popular sport fish throughout the Gulf of Mexico. They've been overfished along our coastline in the past, and we're on catch and release only. Now that they are starting to make a comeback, you can take some with a special tag.
How do you know they're all being fed enough?
Well, we take enough food with us on a regular basis so that any of the ones that are hungry can get at some food. These guys don't all eat every single day in the wild, and they get fed more in this exhibit actually than they would in a wild situation. Some of them do, yeah. This large grouper right here is the biggest grouper that we have in this tank. He's a Warsaw grouper. And one of the other larger fish that will come up and get food from our hands is the hogfish. That's the pink-colored one with the sloping forehead and the big mouth. The blue one there is called a midnight parrotfish. Those are the only parrotfish that we have in the tank. They've got all of their teeth fused into what looks like a parrot's beak, and they use that for pinching off little bits of coral polyps or algae around a coral reef area. Greg's going to try and feed one of the eels over there with that larger fish, which is a mackerel. since Penga got kind of scared off by one of the nurse sharks there, we'll present the food over to him there. No, I guess not.
Yeah.
I'm going to see if one of our purple mouth morays is hungry. That's one of the ones that are hanging out underneath the brain coral there.
Yeah. Oh, there's Charlie was
Throughout the dive program, there is one animal that won't come down and get food from us while we're feeding. That's the barracuda. He just swam over into this corner here. He usually stays up towards the surface, and he's afraid to get food from us. So we do have to feed him from the surface by throwing fish in at the top. Also, down at the far end of the tank, you might notice a cage that's hanging in the water. That's called an acclimation pen. Whenever we're introducing new animals into the exhibit, we put them in an acclimation pen, and that allows them a little bit of time to get used to the animals in here and get used to the existing community will recognize them as part of the existing community in the tank. If we were to just directly release them in here, all of these guys might think of that animal as an intruder, and they'd probably chase them around and pick on them. You can see our nurse sharks are very friendly. We don't really worry about our sharks in the water when we dive with them. The same is true of the sharks that you see in our Islands of Steel exhibit. Most sharks are pretty much strictly feed on other fish or other organisms. We're nothing like what they feed on, so we don't worry about them. They do have sharp teeth though, and our fingers tend to smell like the fish that we're handling when we're feeding, so we are careful with our hands. We wear chainmail gloves just in case they happen to mistake one of our fingers for food. They aren't outwardly aggressive, it's just something that they would mistake because of the sense of smell that they have. Same is true with the moray eels. They also have fairly sharp teeth, so we're careful with them. Do you want to go up?
Go up there, Seth. Go ahead.
You can see that we have a fairly thick piece of glass in the front here. Actually, this stuff is made out of acrylic. And although it is a fairly tough substance in terms of holding all the weight of the water in, it is also soft and it does scratch easily, so please don't touch it anywhere else throughout the aquarium. Greg's gonna slick his hair up a little bit with some fish slime. Yeah, I think he wants to show off a little bit before heading out of the tank. He's going to try to blow some air rings for us before he heads out.
What's that?
We'll give him a big hand. He's going to head out of the tank right
Bye-bye.
now. Okay. Greg's going to stay in, actually. He's going to do a little bit of cleaning.
There's Seth in front of the alligator pen. Ready to go.
I wonder how they bite.
See him moving? There's just one in there, I think. Just big sharks in there, huh?
think they can do that shows there.
They do dive shows in there. Greg went in there the other night. They have 2 turtles in there too, but I don't see them right now. Saltwater tank. So they have real pretty fish in there so that they can show off all their colors. Bubbles.
It'll be clear in here.
See him? Over here. Here, come right here. See him? He's right there. Can you see him through the bubbles? Wait until the bubbles clear. There he is.
See those up there?
See it up there?
You see him?
Is he big or little?
He's big.
He's big right here. See that thing?
Can you see him?
I don't know if it's funny.
Yeah.